Because we will, many brothers, okay, is it even allowed to put pictures of Sheikh Haytham online and have this beautiful Sheikh in lectures? No. Because I think the Sheikh is too much fitna for the sisters.
Yes. Yeah? Maybe I'm fitna for brothers and sisters.
I don't know what kind of community you live in, Sheikh. That's too much. But it could be, subhanAllah, nowadays, these rainbow days.
Yes.
Yeah? Anyways, but okay, to be more specific, we received some complaints from sisters, okay?
Sheikh Muhammad Hijab, he wants to say.
Yes, we received some, before we go to that, we received some complaints from sisters, yeah, saying that brothers are putting out images of themselves where they are displaying muscles, yani maybe just exactly covering the aura, and yani doing this stylish moves,
Stylish move like what?
I'm not gonna do any moves, Sheikh. We can use that pattern for moves. Anyways, is it allowed for brothers to put out images or videos of themselves displaying themselves in a way that might cause temptation to women? That's the question.
If the brother is not handsome like Muhammad Hijab, then he can.
Is that ironically or is it seriously? Not handsome? Come on. It looks okay. Okay,
let's hear from the brothers.
Okay, let's hear from the brothers.
Finally, what kind of censorship is this? What kind of illiberal...
Ibrahim.
Sheikh always takes over. MashaAllah.
I was going to ask Sheikh, I wanted to ask some questions because to be honest with you, it seems like we're playing with like masalih, mafasid, sadd al-dhara'i, all these things, yeah? Like all these usuli principles. Like this is what I feel. The first question that was asked, can sisters approach brothers so that they can ask them questions about the deen? Yeah, that's the first question. You gave a very good answer, understood it. But then it was suggested that sisters should approach other sisters. But if sisters are not public online, how can they approach other sisters? Does that make sense? So
yeah,
if there isn't a female alternative of the dawah for a woman, then it doesn't facilitate for a woman to go to another woman. So that what will happen is they'll end up going back to the men, and that fitna will be there. So which is akhaf dharrain, and which is the lesser of two evils from your perspective? And another point I wanted to ask you as well is that nowadays, especially as we're going to be covering, especially with things like women's issues that women are more, I would say, they have more of experience with, in life and things like that. Is there a benefit in females going public to elaborate a case? Don't you think there's a benefit that, for example, if they elaborate a case for their own gender, that it could be more powerful in terms of dawah and making a social case than if a man did it? Because I've noticed that when I, for example, go and do dawah, especially talking about feminism and things like that, I get a backlash that, okay, well, we want to hear from females of your community. And so these are all things which I wanted to ask you about, because I thought maybe there's a balance we can strike.
I don't know. Fahad is the big boss, so whether he wants us to answer these questions.
You may answer those questions, but don't forget my question as well.
Right, okay. Quickly, first of all, regarding, we said there are number of measures to be taken. So if sisters can go to sister, then yes. If she can't, then she goes to a brother. But it should be transparent, it should be short, it should be public, it should be formal, etc. So we are not saying that you cannot talk to any sheikh or any da'iyah about Islam. We didn't say that, but we said it should be controlled. Now the other thing is for women to go to discuss certain things pertinent to women. It can be. But why a young sister is speaking about taqwa, on YouTube, and she's recording something about taqwa on YouTube? Are we lacking in talks about taqwa? Other young sisters will not listen except to this sister. That what you mentioned is just the generalization of those who want to justify for themselves why they are going public. And by the way, this is and I'm sure, I don't know whether sisters have reached to that level or not. It is a well-known principle. Yeah, the female, does not like another female as her supervisor or as her manager. Yeah, because female to female they feel jealous. Yeah, that's why Allah Jalla wa Ala sent over 25,000 prophets. All of them were males. Yeah, why? Because Allah Jalla wa Ala knows that males appeal to females and males. Yeah, Allah Jalla wa Ala didn't say, okay, let us half or 5,000 or 1,000 female prophets we sent. Yeah, and now those feminists, they say, yeah, but there is Aisha and there is Khadija. Okay, there is Aisha and Khadija, but compared to what? 25,000, all of them were prophets. Yeah, male prophets. This gives us an indication of the dynamic, the social dynamic of this life. Now, we cannot say that we have another social dynamic if that is the normal of humanity. The other thing, now regarding brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, look, women are, obliged to wear hijab in general, and whether they are obliged to cover their faces or not, let us not get into this discussion. But definitely, the hijab women should observe is different from the hijab men should observe. We are observing hijab, part of our clothes. But the hijab of women is more conservative. Yes? Moreover, the Prophet ﷺ, he was giving khutbah, women were looking at him. Yes? He was teaching women were looking at him. The fitna, the dynamic of fitna between brothers, males and females is different. The male becomes attached, or the fitna of sisters or females for the male are quicker, and by anything, by the way she looks, by the way she speaks, by her clothes, by her shoes, by maybe, but the fitna of men for females is not by their looks. It is very rare when a sister looks at a man and says, wow. Yeah, it can happen, but it is not the norm. Yeah, the fitna of men, to women comes with a lot of interaction. Wow, this brother is really cool. This brother is really kind. This brother is this and that. And that comes from what? A lot of interaction, not just by his face. Yeah, in fact, sometimes his face might put her off. Now, I do agree that for brothers, a brother, a da'iyah, why he's putting his chest, on Facebook or on his profile? Why? Yeah, this is a problem. Why he is putting himself in a very maybe feministic way? Yeah, or why he is putting, whenever he has his hair, his hair cut, yeah, he's putting a new image of his. Okay, look at me like this, like that. This is my hairstyle. That is problematic. Although he is a male, that is problematic, and we say no, don't do that, because that will create fitna for others. Yeah, for girls.
Yes, inshallah, but we only have 1 minute until the Maghrib prayer, inshallah.
I think when it comes to Islam, it is not detailedly explain many things. What I mean by this is that there are general rules which have been laid down by our jurists and scholars, which fit for every time, which actually means that when this happens, this is a general formula. So there is a general formula here in Islam. Islam looks at the goal of the thing, which actually means, let us say now, if I use a knife, if I use it for killing people, it's haram. But when I use to cut the meat or the vegetables into pieces, it's halal. If I use the mirror to look at myself in it, it's halal. But if I use it to look at somebody else's private parties in the mirror, it's haram. If I use this money for sadaqah, for charity, for something to eat, it's halal. If I use it for fornication, it is something haram. So Islam looks at the purpose of this usage. What are you using for? So there is no such thing as this is totally haram, this is totally halal, but it depends on how you use it. So now I think, world has changed. So we have now, there are many things new in our life, and they're gonna come other new things in the life. But Islam did not say to you, you're gonna have like this type of computer, you're gonna have like this type of software. But Islam has laid down the foundations from which we can apply things into. This is what I mean by this. So it depends what this picture is for, what this video is for. It depends on the purpose of that to determine whether this is halal and this is haram. This according to the juristic issue. Another thing, there is a qaida which says la ibrata bit-tawahhum. We cannot raise suspicious things before the thing happens. So let us look at it, into it, and see where it is up, and after that we can pass a judgment, a verdict on it based on what we see from this al-Qaeda.
Brother Fahd, how's Iman doing?
Not good, Akhi. It's not good.
Is it really that bad?
I'm really afraid it is.
الله سبحانه وتعالى يتوفى الله سبحانه وتعالى بعد clear us Muhammad Hijab is not doing it for Allah, he's doing it to save himself, because this way he was doing it clear against Quran. And I will finish this because also I want to mention there is a video when you're debating, there is a sister with no, I'm showing the double standard, okay? The sister with the niqab, she's telling your friend and in his dawah, yeah, you know what he did, What you did?
Oh boy. Live in public, recorded by the Muslims. Camera.
You know what he did?